FIL president Einars Fogelis from Sigulda. Super cool to catch up with him. He's a busy guy and he's all over. Also, it's just so windy up here, so my hair is just going to be a wild stallion for a second. But yeah, the FIL humans, I mean, they do so much for the sport, and so to get Einars roped down to kind of talk to him about the new initiatives that they're trying to roll out for FIL, they're always trying to think about ways to make luge more, I don't know, not necessarily attractive, because a lot of kids want to go down a sled, you know, this is the first love of many kids, but to kind of make it more accessible for countries around the world. So anyways, nice to catch up with him. So jumping into my crazy hair and my face and the weather that's going on. So weather's still crazy. Obviously this is right here, so we can't really see what's going on, but I'm seeing a ton of water coming off of this. So we're not cold enough yet to hit snow, but it's just really wet and windy, and that's just going to create, yeah, we'll see how the track holds up. So yesterday, for anyone that missed the race, I talked about the men's race before this race. What happened is that the athletes towards the end of the lineup truly just didn't really have a chance. And that was because the track just got so frosty. So that could be the scenario today. So currently Apriodes is sitting on top. So she's just hoping that the track stays intact, because we may hit a wall around, you know, that top 10 to see, like, it was top 10 yesterday with the men's race where the track just went to crap, honestly. And so we'll have to see what happens with this women's race. So the first few slides are going to have great ice. They're going to have great times. I was talking to Elsa Desmond yesterday, our athlete from Ireland. She was like, today might be the day that I beat somebody, and she's going to be coming off one of our first slides. So everybody root for Elsa Desmond, because this could be the day, because she's going to have really great ice, and then people towards the other end are not going to have such great ice. So anyways, I'm going to toss this to our commentators in the booth. You guys are getting ready for the second run. I'm trying to keep my hair out of my mouth and out of my face, and you guys are in a really nice, cozy room. How are you doing, and what's your breakdown of the second run?
A great year on life.
Thanks, Kate. I am still in the commentary booth with Leon Felderer, and we are so happy to be joining you on the studio show. So a couple things we were just talking about. The weather. It's increasingly raining outside, so we've got quite the precipitation, but also more interesting than the weather, even though it's still interesting to the athletes because it affects your downtime. But we have some athletes in the mix here that, for example, what the weather did, we have Peiwan Wang of China, who had a very clean first run. She was one of the first athletes off the hill, and she's currently sitting in 15th place, and Elena Stetskev in 14th. So we saw that a little bit in your race yesterday, Leon, where, you know, the athletes that we like to see up in the mix, but unfortunately then it's a little bit harder to hang on. But what we were just talking about, we have some dark horses up here that are going to get some really good ice.
They're going to get some good ice, yes.
Yeah, some hot ice action. It's a funny phrase.
I'm excited to see if they can clean up their runs.
Right.
First of all, and then we'll see what their finish time will be.
Right, and so who we're referring to is Madeline Egle of Austria, who was flying in her splits. And so the splits are the timesheet breakdown here of where they're crossing each timing eye. And so Madeline was in first place for quite a while, I think until the fourth or fifth split, and then Emily Sweeney was doing well. So Madeline's off fourth, Sweeney's off seventh, and then Juliet Talbot. So she has a chance to do some climbing, but as Leon pointed out, she made mistakes in a run. It's not like she had a slow, clean run.
They have to clean up the runs, and if they do, then they will catch up some places, that's for sure.
Right. So our top 10 is really quite interesting here, and Italy is up in the mix. So what do you think changed? What is it that has your teammates up in the top 10 there?
Not too sure about that, actually. Maybe they have some steals for this weather conditions. Right. Because typically it's not an Italian ice.
Yeah.
But they surprised me with the first run.
Yeah, and something Emily Sweeney and I were talking about yesterday when she commentated doubles with me is that, you know, typically we always cater our equipment to, like, well, that's not cold. You try and figure out equipment that goes fast on cold ice, but there's always these tracks like Sigulda in Winterberg.
Bobo sometimes as well.
Yeah.
That's always like at least 2 races a year that's like that. So you should have some equipment for that ice as well.
And to your point, this is quite a preview. World Championships are in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Europe has been notoriously warm. The ski hills are all shut down or struggling with man-made snow that's just getting rained on every day. So this could be great practice for honing in. And I also understand the Germans were training in Oberhof, of course, because it's World Championships, but it's kind of that same like boxing ring of a track, would you say?
It has some similarities with Sigulda. But I like it much
Oh, you do?
better. Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just don't like Sigulda. So I'm struggling a lot here in Sigulda. So that's probably why I don't like it too much.
Yeah, what he's not mentioning is a tough day yesterday with a pretty gnarly crash. Glad to see that you're okay. I mean, you caught air from 5 to 6.
Yeah, but it's been like that all week.
Yeah.
Like I had so much troubles this week, and
what is it about this track that makes it so hard to get that rhythm?
Actually, I don't know. It's just not made for me, probably. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But maybe I will someday.
And even on, sometimes when a track is really hard, it gets especially scary when the ice is really fast. But on this frosty ice, it seemed to prove just as difficult.
Exactly, yeah. I thought it would be easier this week because of the slower times and softer ice, but that proved me wrong. I had much more struggles this week than I had last week. Not too sure why is that, but...
Yeah, it seems like it was so easy to just catch an edge. Like you think you're on line, and then the frost, you catch an edge and just...
Yeah. It was a difficult week for me.
Yeah, well,
interesting week.
We're all feeling very lucky that you were still feeling positive enough to join us in the booth here and talk about the race and, work through your issues live on television to talk about that. Because, I mean, really, that's really good insight as to where the trouble spots are, of course, on this track. Now, of course, you had some trouble at the top there in that labyrinth, and the women don't hit that with as much speed, but there's still a second labyrinth up there that's hard to see.
Yeah. It's I think it's easier from lady start because you have a much lower speed there. Right. And from the top, it's a challenging part of the track because you have so much speed going on, and once you're offline, it's just like going off the corner, and there's no room for correction.
Right.
Like it's tough to correct here.
Yeah, and
once you're offline.
There's no way to show on TV how tight those transitions are. I never got to slide here as an athlete, but walking the track for the first time.
No, very tight, especially like the transition from 10 to 11 and 12 to 13. That's like very short, and you have a lot of speed there already.
Yeah.
So you got to be on point there.
Right. But for you were telling me earlier that this was the second track you ever went to as a junior. So you got to start early.
No, I have a lot of runs here.
Yeah.
But I still haven't figured out how to do it right.
Yeah. I mean, and that just goes to show you how impressive it is when athletes are getting it dialed in and can have these beautiful runs, especially non-Latvians. Yeah, and we've got the ambient screen here of what the TV crews are seeing, and so there's kids on there enjoying what little snow is left. And it almost looks like there's some slush happening, like it's getting a little bit chillier out there. But yeah, it is coming down. Hopefully,
so maybe it's
we got a wintry mix.
Yeah.
Official weather report from the booth. That's I mean, maybe. If it's a little bit colder, do you think the track will maintain so we're not going to see the advantage that the athletes were offering?
I don't think it's that cold that it will maintain, but it's definitely going to be better if it's a little colder.
Right. Yep.
But I think it's still pretty warm.
Yeah, it is still at 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I can't translate that off the top of my head, but it's above freezing. And it is a bit warm. But it's going to be very exciting. We have, again, the amount of time that separates the top 6 is just 0.09 of a second. And then back in 16th place, we have Julia Talbot to keep an eye on. 22nd, Emily Sweeney. Madeline Egla, who's 4th off, will get the best ice of the potential top finishers. And, of course, Austria is looking to make something of their couple weeks here.
They had some 2 rough weeks as well.
Yeah. So everybody hoping for a nice way to end things here in Sigulda. We just got our 2-minute warning to television, and so we are going to ask you to switch channels. Thanks so much for joining us on the studio show on behalf of Leon and myself. Switch channels over to the live race, and we will see you soon for the exciting conclusion of women's singles here at the European Championships.
Gada 7 sezonas labākie braucēji.